to the fact that I got my green card so quickly, to now being able to go to Caracas, like being able to go to the city that I was born in and spend a whole week with my dad, who I loved and missed so much. It was just so special, and have that moment just be almost like restored. And God did that for me. He restored the years of crying, the years of therapy, trying to be okay with the fact that I wasn't able to see my family. The years that I doubted whether I was ever going to be able to leave the country again. Hey there, welcome to my channel. So today it's a very special day because I'm finally going to be sharing with you my Caracas vlog, which is something that I never thought that I would ever do. And the reason why is because that isn't just any vlog. If you have been following my channel for a while, then you know that my story starts in Venezuela. 11 years ago when I left the country. I flee from there because I wanted to have a better and safer future. And my family decided to come to America, and I have been here ever since. But throughout that entire process of being in America, I had been just waiting for my status and everything to be sorted. From the moment that my family came into this country, we did everything correctly, we did everything legally, but it still took time. And honestly, we weren't getting any answers or any progress, and it was really affecting my life because even though I have been here legally, I'm able to work, I'm able to pay my taxes, have health insurance, and just being able to live here, even though that has been a miracle and a privilege of its own, I wasn't able to travel. I wasn't able to leave the country because I was still waiting for this status to be sorted. And if I did leave the country, there could be a risk that whenever I came back, they wouldn't let me in. Not saying that this happens to everyone, but it was a risk that I was not willing to take. Now, for the past 11 years, I have been dealing with it in the sense that whenever a friend gets married outside of the country, I'm not able to go. Whenever I've been invited on these incredible trips abroad, I'm just staying home. And it affected me the most in the past year because my now husband, he travels a lot for his work. And whenever it's been inside of America, I've been able to go with him. But also, he's originally from Australia, and every single year he's traveling for a certain period of the year during Christmas time, and he spends time with his family. And last year it was so difficult because I wasn't able to go, and not being able to visit his home country and meet his family was something that was really painful in my heart. Not being able to spend New Year's Eve with him or Christmas with him, it was just a lot, and it really affected me to the point where back in November of last year, I was actually attempting to get some sort of travel permit to leave the country and be able to come back. But because my passport is from Venezuela and it was expired and there is no embassy in Venezuela, it was so complicated. I had to travel to another country, hope that maybe I could get the passport on time in order to have this travel permit to then go to Australia. And it just wasn't going to work out. I think that anything is possible, and maybe if I had tried it, it could have happened. But it was going to be so complicated that I just decided to lay it in God's hands and say, God, I'm not going to push this. I'm not going to go on this trip. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to spend more time with you. And even though it's going to be painful, I'm just going to trust you and trust that maybe a year from now, I'm going to be able to be in Australia with my now husband. So I was really praying. And I remember even telling someone that was helping me with the whole passport situation that I was going to stop the process and that I was going to wait until I finally had my green card. I said to her, listen, I know this sounds crazy, but I want to pause this process because I believe that by July of next year, which is the current year, I'm going to have my green card in my hand. And when that happens, I'm going to be able to now travel, get my passport renewed, and just solve all these travel issues. So I said that to her, and by the time I didn't know if I was actually going to have my green card, clearly I have been waiting 11 years for it. So to even say this out loud, it was very bold, but I just had this feeling inside of me, and I believed it was the Holy Spirit just confirming me that I needed to trust Him, that I needed to wait on the Lord. So I did that. It was very painful to, again, spend this time alone. So this year happened and my partner and I got engaged and we got married within 2 months, which there's a whole video telling you that story. But it definitely sped up a lot of things for me in my process, and it was a blessing. Most people that go through this process of maybe bringing their significant other to the country to live with them, or when people like me want to adjust our status in this country, especially after we are now married, it usually takes, let's say, 6 to 12 months for this to happen. That's what I hear the most. In fact, I have some really close people to me that did the process about 2 years ago, and just now they're getting their green card approved. So for me to go through this process again with the hopes that it was going to be done by July, I think it was a really, really big prayer that I didn't know if it was going to be answered. At the end of the day, I have faith in God. I have faith that He knows the desires of my heart, that He loves me, and that He wants to answer these prayers. But I also am submitted to God, and I know that His will is more important than mine. And if He didn't want me to have this now, I had to accept it. But He knows how much I wanted this. This was in my big prayer list. 2 months after reapplying for this green card, I am sitting in front of an immigration officer. I'm doing my interview. And then 2 weeks later, I have the green card in my hand. And this is a video of when I received it. I just got a USPS package and I've been waiting for my green card. But usually it arrives on the mailbox. So I don't think it's that. I think it's, I don't know what it is because I haven't ordered anything. So maybe it's that. So I'm going to film myself just in case it is that. I was praying right now that I will be patient, that God will give me that patience, and that, that I will be okay. That I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry. But am I a little impatient? No, I'm patient. I'm patient. Patience is my fruit. It's my gift. But I gotta go do it. I gotta go check it. But I don't want to get my hopes up because I really feel like it's not that. I'm gonna go see it and see what's up. Okay? Keep you updated. If you didn't give me the green card, and if you had saved me and you hadn't given me the green card, it would have still been enough. It would have still been enough. To be honest, I have been on my phone the whole 2 weeks just waiting for every other update, making sure that I knew when it was actually arriving. Even the moment of actually discovering that it was approved was such an answered prayer, because they could have said no. They could have said, you know what, we don't want to do this now. But God is bigger than anything else in this world. Anyone. And I believe that He did this for me. So I get the approval and I start to call my family. I start to celebrate. I finally have the green card in my hands, and this moment was just so surreal because it meant that I finally belonged in this country. Even though I have been making this my home for the past 11 years, I've been paying taxes, I've been doing everything correctly. I have a home here now. I have my husband, I have my dog, I have everything, my family, my church, everything here in Miami. The fact that I had this card, just in the eyes of the government, I am a permanent resident, and that means so much for me. So after this happened, I had to make the big decision. I had to travel to Venezuela. Why? Because there were other embassies that I could go to in the world, like Mexico or Colombia, to get my passport renewed. But the problem is that there is a really high possibility that it could take months for me to receive it. And there's even a possibility that I might not receive it at all. One of my family members actually had to go to Canada a few years ago to get her passport renewed. And to this day, she hasn't received it. So I think it was very risky for me to make the trip and actually pay for hotel, pay for flights, and not even know if it was gonna happen. And when it comes to the Venezuelan embassies or the Venezuelan government in general, a lot of things change all the time. So even if I do go to Mexico today, it could happen that I might not get it ever because the embassy might close over there. So I had to take a risk. I had to decide to go to Venezuela. If I went to Venezuela, I knew that I could get it the same day. It's the only place where you can actually get it that fast. And for me, it was important to do this because my husband is having a show for his job in Milan, Italy in October, and it falls exactly on my birthday. And from the moment that the year started, we knew that we wanted to go together. And after we got married, we actually decided that that would be our honeymoon. But during this entire time, we didn't know if I was gonna get my green card approved. We didn't know if I was gonna have my passport. And it was very difficult to actually even dream about this because I didn't know if it was gonna happen. But I choose to go to Venezuela. And the only reason why I made this decision is because, of course, first of all, I have God with me and He has given me so much strength to do so many brave things in the past. But also, I called my dad and I called my uncle, and they both live in Venezuela. And I told them that I had just gotten my green card and I could actually travel to Venezuela. But the other caveat is that in order to go to Venezuela with an expired passport, you have to go through Colombia. You have to literally drive through the border, which wasn't really something that I wanted to do because I just didn't really trust how things worked over there, and there's so many risks involved. So I knew that it could be really easy or it could be really hard, and I didn't want to go through it alone. So thank God both my dad and my uncle said to me, we're gonna pick you up in Colombia, like we're gonna meet you over there and we're gonna go do the whole process with you. You're not gonna be alone. And the moment that this happened, I felt so much peace in my heart because I didn't want to do something out of God's will. I wanted to do what was right and what God was really calling me to do. So the moment that they say this to me, I just have so much peace that I can actually go to Venezuela, that I'm going to be protected, that I'm taking the right steps in order to do so. So I had to go to Colombia, which I was able to go there legally with my expired passport. Auntie woke up at 4 a.m. to take me to the airport. And we're here.
¡Aquí vamos!
Ajá. Cuéntame, tía, ¿cómo va el viaje?
Excelente,
Maravilloso.
maravilloso.
And then I have to do the whole drive-in through Colombia and through the border. And this was definitely scary. We had someone that was driving us through the border who was actually a professional in doing that. And by the way, it's all legal. It's all okay. But as we're doing this, he says, the people that rule this city or this town that we're in is basically the gangs. Like, I don't want to say this like this, but when he said that, I was terrified. I was like, how did I end up here? I have so much bravery for even being here in the first place because I hadn't been here in so many years. I had been terrified of just being back. But I really believe that God had an army of angels just surrounding me the whole time, from the moment that I left America and to the moment that I came back into America, and of course also now. But especially during that trip, I just felt so protected. I even remember once we were inside of Venezuela, we have to travel from one town to the city, which is where I was born, Caracas. And in that moment, we are being asked for our documents, which, by the way, all my documents were expired. But again, it is legal to travel there that way. But I was terrified because they could actually make a big deal out of it if they wanted to. So as I'm there, there's even a girl in front of me by herself, and she gives in her documents. I don't know what her situation was. I don't know if she had bad documents or if they were real documents or if they were, because sometimes the thing that happens there is that they can cause trouble to you just to take money out of you. It's just very corrupt. So the girl that was in front of us, she gets called because there was something happening with her document, and we never saw her actually get on the plane. That to me was so scary because that could have been me. And I believe that God was just with me the whole time, protecting me, making sure that everything was happening how it was meant to happen. So we ended up traveling to Caracas, and now I am back in my city. I'm back where I was born. I'm back where I grew up in, which was crazy to me. The fact that I was able to, first of all, see my dad again. I don't know if I've already put a picture of this or really talked about it, but if you saw my previous video talked all about how God is the father to the fatherless, and I love my father so much, but we have been so distant for all these years because he's in Venezuela and I'm in Miami, and distance doesn't really help when you're trying to feel close to a family member. So this moment of seeing him again was such an answered prayer. It's something that I have been wanting for every single year since I came to America, and that moment just felt like pure gold, like just to think about being with him again, and not only being with him again in that moment with him picking me up, but also spending every single day with him, like him taking care of me. I didn't grow up with him as my dad who raised me because I had my stepdad, which is the one that passed away that I always talk about. For me to even be with him that whole week was such an answered prayer because I felt so close to him, and he just couldn't stop talking about how this was the best week of his life, how he felt like the happiest man on earth, and he did everything that he could to help me and to be there with me every step of the way, to show me what the city looked like again. And to me, that was just so special, and it's something that I did not take for granted. And I thank God so much that he created that moment for me to have that, that moment for me to see him again. And it just takes me back to Ephesians 3 verse 19 to 20, I believe, where it talks about how God can do abundantly more than you can ever think or imagine. And I believe that that was this for me from the moment that I met my now husband and now I got married to him. I'm living in this house with him, to the fact that I got my green card so quickly, to now being able to go to Caracas, like being able to go to the city that I was born in and spend a whole week with my dad, who I loved and missed so much. It was just so special, and have that moment just be almost like restored. It reminds me of a scripture that says, is in Joel chapter 2 verse 25, and it says, I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten. And God did that for me. He restored the years of crying, the years of therapy, trying to be okay with the fact that I wasn't able to see my family, the years that I doubted whether I was ever going to be able to leave the country again. Just like stepping even outside of the country was so crazy to me. And if you travel abroad all the time, or if you don't have the same issues, you probably will never understand this, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal to me because I always felt like I was missing out on so many things in my life because I wasn't able to travel. And one of those things was the fact that I wasn't able to see my dad. I wasn't able to have a close relationship with him because he was so far away. And the fact that God restored that within such a quick time, it was just so special. And I will never take it for granted. But besides that, the fact that I was able to see my city again was also beautiful. I got to walk through the high school that I was a part of my whole life. I got to walk through my old house, and I'm so grateful for the place that I live in now. I believe that this city has so many things that are new and beautiful and exciting, and I'm so proud of every single person that has made the decision to stay in the country and to build there. And I know many of them are actually my family, and to see them just building, even though they have no resources, is mind-blowing to me. And I'm so happy and proud to be Venezuelan. Coming back was another big deal because I keep hearing things from people just saying that nowadays in America it's really hard to come back into the country if you have a green card, and just so many rumors and things that I've seen that are proven wrong by many people in my position or in similar positions that travel the world all the time. And I knew that I was also going to prove those comments wrong, but I wasn't sure. At the end of the day, I did travel to Venezuela. I was terrified of even coming back in. I was like, am I okay? And everything was great. Everything was legal. Like, I did everything right, but there was still this fear inside of me because I hadn't come back into America for 11 years since the time that I actually came to this country to stay here. So it was a big deal moment, and I was able to go through that like a champ. Everything was awesome, and I'm a part of this country. I belong here. Nobody has anything to say to me. because I am a part of America, and this has been such an answered prayer to me. The fact that I'm sitting here now, after a week of being back from Venezuela, it's like beautiful to me. And now I can finally travel the world and I can meet my husband's family, and I'm so grateful for all the beautiful blessings that not only I have received, but the ones that are coming my way. But I have to say that it's been all because of God's grace and because of God's hand in my life. And the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place is because you're about to see a whole new era of vlogging and sharing my life and traveling, and I haven't been consistent, to be honest, in the past 6 months or 8 months, because I was in this bridal era, getting married, now dealing with all this immigration stuff. It has taken such a huge toll on my life, but it has also brought so many blessings. And now that I'm jumping into this new era, I didn't want you to forget where I come from, because whenever I see all these beautiful vlogs of girls in Europe or these beautiful marriages, it's so easy to compare myself to them sometimes. And the reality is that we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And this doesn't mean that everyone is going through a difficult journey, but it does mean that most people do. And I want you to know my story. This is my story. I am an immigrant who came here 11 years ago. I wasn't able to travel for 11 years. I met Jesus over 5 years ago in Miami after being lost in the world, after losing my dad, and now I'm here. I have not only met Jesus, which is my biggest blessing ever, because now I have the gift of salvation. Not only have built my own ministry, but also I got to meet my soulmate. I remember the days when I was making videos about singleness here on YouTube, and when I was making videos about the waiting season and having anxiety over the future and not even being sure of where I was in my relationship with my dad. And to now be on the other side is so special. It's such an answer prayer, is such a testimony, and I don't want to ignore it. I don't want to post new beautiful travel vlogs and show you how I'm going all over the world, which hopefully I will. I don't even know if that's possible. It's probably really expensive, but I don't want to show you that season without showing you how I got here. And I got here because I believe that God had a special plan in my life. I believe that He has a special plan in your life as well. And it hasn't been easy at all. It's been very difficult. It's been hard. It's been risky. It's been life-threatening many times, but we're here, and I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. And I hope that whatever dream you have in your heart, if it's aligned with God's will, I believe that He will answer that for you. He knows the desires of our hearts, and He wants you to be joyful in the midst of it all. Whether you're getting your prayers answered or you are waiting until the other side of eternity for them to be answered, I believe that He wants you to be joyful. And right now that I'm on this other beautiful side of fulfillment and breakthrough in my life, I want to learn how to be content in the mundane as well. I want to learn how to be thankful to God for everything that I have, because trust me, the moment that I got back into America, I went back to my old habits of not being content with certain things in my life or not showing the gratitude that I'm supposed to show. So I'm learning every single day how to be better, and I am not perfect, but I believe that God has brought me this far for a reason. And if He gave me this testimony, then we're going to use it for His glory. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please share it with a friend, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel to continue watching more videos like this one. If you are an immigrant going through the same journey, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your story, and I would love to pray alongside with you. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.